Hello guys and welcome to the channel. Today I want to be talking to you guys about Warzone and some issues I've been experiencing while installing this. So I've seen on Reddit that other people are also having issues with crashes, DirectX errors and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm going to be going over this. You can see there's a lot of people having issues here, right? So let me explain my issue, right? So let's go to the Blizzard launcher and let's start this up and I'll show you what issue I have been experiencing. So to recap, when I first launched this game I had some DirectX issues popping up and stuff like that. The game then shut down and I restarted the game, and then well, it started up just fine. But as most of you guys know, at the start of this there's normally the logo animation that says Infinity Ward and Activision. I disabled that right now just as I was trying to fix the issue, and that's why I didn't see it this time. But if your game starts up and it seems to freeze at those logos, you want to first check reinstalling the shaders. As you can see, mine is installing again now, and that's one of the issues. It keeps reinstalling. So let's continue here. Now you'll see it seems as if it's stuck into at 100%. You simply go in the game, you wait for it to load up, and once this loads you'll see some of the issues I've been having. And it's time now. Okay, here we are. Now I've got this in what do you call it, windowed mode, but you can still see the issue in the background, and this is the same in full screen. It doesn't matter. You can see the background freezes. It has stutters, micro stutters rather, that you can see happening here, and that's one of the signs that you need to reinstall your game. But it's not as simple as reinstalling, and I'll go over that in a few moments. But first I want to show you what my game looks like when I go into the practice mode and even the battle royale, but I'll show you one of the practice modes. Just for now, remember the key thing is that when the game starts the logo screen, it starts to freeze. And if you look here, one of the issues you might have is that there's only activity on the CPU, but on the GPU there's nothing. Right now mine is working. That happened after I did a few things, but the issue still exists. So let's jump into a practice mode. Let's go to Warzone orientation and let's play this. Alright, so let the game load up and I will show you one key thing that might give away that you really need to reinstall your game. Alright, so look at this. What do you guys see as the problem here? Look at the textures.
Bruh.
What, I have the highest setting selected, and look at this. Everything is blurry, it's messed up clearly. All of the textures are messed up. So that's one of the signs that you need to reinstall your game. Okay, so now that I have gone over this, right, let me go into the game that I did reinstall and let me show you what the difference is, and then I'm going to discuss how you need to reinstall the game, because it's not as simple as just reinstalling it. Alright, so let's close this. Alright, now let me reopen the launcher and I am going to select the installation that I did reinstall. So let's go to that. Game settings. Go to... Now you don't need to do this. I'm just showing you the difference between the first install and then the reinstall. So let's go to the reinstall. I think that's 86 bell.net, and this is the reinstalled file. So let's select that. Let's click on done. Alright, so let's click on play. Now while this is loading up, let me iterate on this. On your first install, if your CPU usage is like too high and like the GPU is like 0, just say it's less than maybe 5, that is one of the key things that you need to take into account to decide whether you need to reinstall. Alright, so let this start up, installing shaders. As you can see, you see this one progressed. It went on to pack 3. It didn't just stay paused onto the pack 1 at 100%. It says installation complete. Now let's continue. Let's start this up. Now let's go. Okay, wait, before we go into the practice mode, let me show you this. Look at the character now loaded in. If you look at the background, there is no stutter anymore. Everything's running smooth, there's no random stuttering in between. Alright, so that's the first sign that, hey, your reinstall actually is working now. And also, when I first set up this reinstall, I didn't get any DirectX errors and nothing of that sort. Okay, so let's go into practice mode and see whether we still have the blurring effect going on with the textures. Alright, let's get in. Now when you think about it, reinstalling sounds crazy because you have the scan and repair option, but that does not always work. Alright, so let's look at this. The textures are perfect now. Reinstall is done. I install game and I open it up and everything's great. Look at that. Textures are amazing the way they should be. Alright, so time to discuss what the issue is. Let's leave the game. Alright, now to get to the main issue of how you fix some of these things. You install the game initially, you see there's issues, DirectX pops up, whatever error pops up. And then maybe your game starts up and it loads into the screen and everything seems fine until you go to the practice menu like how it did the first time. And then you see there's bloody textures all around. Or maybe you see that, I don't know, the game is just off, something doesn't seem right. So you go into the Blizzard, let's exit. So you say like, nah, maybe if I run the scan and repair option it will fix the issues, but that's not the case. What I've seen on Reddit, like, let's look up here, like a lot of these people use the reinstall and repair and then they start the game up and they see, well, the issue is still there, so like, what's up? And this is where you should realize that you need to uninstall that game. Now you reinstall it like you did it the first time, but you need to keep in mind that when the game is installing and if you have a network cutoff, that will most likely mess up the game, and that's what happened to me with the first install. So you need to understand that if you're expecting your network to just cut out for some reason, you need to pause it first. Pause the download first before you disconnect your network or anything like that. Make sure that whenever you're doing the download, you don't just abruptly cut the network connection. You always pause it first before you do that, and when your network connection comes up again, then you start the download. If you expect another network cutoff, you make sure you pause that download. Otherwise you will have the issue which I had, or what other people are experiencing here with various kinds of stuff, so yeah, that is the fix. Uninstall your game, reinstall it, make sure your network does not cut off while this is downloading. Always pause the download if you're expecting a network cutoff. And once you run that, you might as well notice that the game is fine, like the current one I loaded up last. How I figured this out is like 2 years ago I installed Overwatch and the game downloaded and everything, but when I ran the initial setup of Overwatch, it just kept crashing. I tried the scan and repair and, well, it still kept crashing after that. And then I realized that while I was doing the download, my network cut off because, well, I was doing other stuff. And I figured, hey, there's no other variables. I tried the other fixes and none of those worked. Maybe that's the cause of all these errors and stuff. So I reinstalled Overwatch, made sure I pressed pause if I knew the network was going to cut off, and when it came back, I resumed it again. And then I figured, hey, I ran Overwatch, the installation started up, and everything went fine, and then the game loaded up as normal. So I think there's an issue with this scan and repair thing that Blizzard has going on. It doesn't actually check the files thoroughly, I guess, whether it's fully downloaded or if it's corrupted, and yeah, this will come out clean when you run it, but there is still an issue in the game files. So please make sure you did everything that I've told you now. Key thing, do not disconnect the network while the download is going on. Make sure you pause it. And I hope this fixes your issue. I really do, because this update is huge. It's not easy to just reinstall all the time to figure out stuff, but now that you know that reinstalling actually really does help, hope it works out for you. Thank you for watching, and if you appreciate the information that I've given you, please like, subscribe, or comment. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys watching this. Yeah, bye.
I tried so hard and got so far.